Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Secrets of the Sire. We do this every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, at talkradio.nyc and streaming live on facebook.com/Secrets of the Sire. We talk comics, movies, TV, pop culture, all the fun stuff that you love to talk about. And tonight, we are going to be talking about what is on my t-shirt. So if you're streaming live on the Facebook page right now...
Rot. We're going to talk about rot.
Well, okay, look, I
told you last week to get yourself a reverse t-shirt so this
I'm not going to buy reverse clothes and reverse banners just to placate Facebook and my camera and that it shows reverse.
Well, all I'm saying is that if you say we're going to discuss this tonight, and people are like, "What the hell is rot?" I'm not going to listen to these guys talk about
it's
rot.
all in pictures. Okay, we are in Idiocracy's time, and we are in picture mode.
That's
This
true.
is Thor.
There is a picture.
This is Thor. All right.
There is a picture.
That annoying devil on my shoulder is my co-host Hasan Godwin, the Lord of the Radio.
Lord of the damned radio. Hello, everyone.
And, all that fun stuff.
All that fun stuff. Yeah, Hasan and all that fun stuff.
All that fun stuff. No, we welcome everyone.
Yes.
We welcome Jack O'Donnell, who's joining us. We're watching
done,
Stephanie
Jack.
Dolce, who's joining us. All of our beloved patrons as well.
Join us, beloved patrons.
I want to do it because let's just get it out of the way now. We can talk about dedicated
What
fans,
did you
Einar
call
Peterson, Matt Byer, Ashley Haikai, our program director, Stephanie Dolce, our executive producer, Steve Hovecki, Brian Phillips, and Christina Gillen, and as always, our Uber fan, Christina Dolce.
Paying the bills, right?
Paying
you call that
the
paying the
bills.
bills. Counting coppers.
And we are going to be talking Thor Ragnarok.
Are we?
We are.
All right.
And by gosh, I am going to find out if you actually liked Thor Ragnarok or did not.
Did you like Thor Ragnarok?
There's so much pain.
I live for your pain.
I'm out of here.
Your tears are delicious.
I'm out of here. If you don't know what that means, you need to become a patron. You need to become a $5 patron because you actually get a live feed into the studio. And last week was worth the price of admission for the month.
Yeah. There was an Olympic event in between the breaks.
Yeah. We talked Stranger Things 2. We had Paul Reiser on. We had a really great show. Tonight it's just us.
Paul Reiser, who was awesome, who was fantastic.
Tonight it's just us. Hasan, I'm going to throw this out to you.
Uh-oh.
What do we want to talk about first? Do we want to talk about Thor Ragnarok, or do we want to talk about Brian Michael Bendis, the most prolific writer at Marvel over the last 15 years?
Yeah.
20 years, really? I wouldn't say 20. Well,
been around
he
a
started
while.
2000, 2001, joining DC Comics.
We can talk about Brian.
All right.
Let's go through that.
So anybody who's joining us to listen about Thor, you're going to listen to
We
some
will talk
comic
about
book, news. Now, I'm gonna say this now. We're not going to address it just yet. Our show is directly responsible for Brian Michael Bendis joining DC
we are.
Comics.
We're
Yes.
the ones in charge.
In a way.
Okay. How
And I'll say this because our background is with Wizard Magazine.
Yes, it is.
Who was very, very big with Brian Michael Bendis in the 2000s? Who was his best buddy, his best supporter? Who did he hang out with at conventions besides Quesada and all the Marvel folks?
Was it Mel?
Mel. He loved
I've
Mel.
seen Mel a lot. Okay,
You're actually going too deep.
Yeah.
Wizard Magazine.
Yes.
Magazine.
Okay.
Who is
But
that?
Mel, but basically his one of his main contacts.
One of his main contacts was Mel.
Yeah.
Mike Cotton
Mel Callow.
was actually a big.
Cotton,
Where's Mike Cotton right now?
He's at DC, isn't he?
And who was in charge?
Wait a minute.
Who was in charge of editorial
Wait a minute.
at Wizard back in the day? Mr. Brian Cunningham. Who is an awesome dude, by the way.
Yes, he is.
Give him. I always was a big Brian fan.
Yes.
So I'm gonna give some love out to him.
He had made a lot of sport out of me.
Yeah.
But always in fun. So.
Oh yeah. No, he was a good dude.
Yeah. He was hard on me sometimes.
And where did he work?
I don't. Mike. As I think about it, it might be DC. He might have migrated to DC.
Isn't the former editor-in-chief of Wizard Magazine working with DC Films out in L.A.? I do believe that as well, too.
Might be true. Wait. So are you thinking...
I am suggesting...
Are you
I'm hypothesizing.
suggesting the hot button word of collusion?
Yes.
Are you suggesting that they colluded in order to get Brian Michael Bendis to be exclusively, very exclusively at DC Comics now?
I think there's
robbed Marvel Comics of their Bendis asset.
Don't get me wrong. You've got Jim Lee who runs DC. You got Dan DiDio who runs DC. So there's heavy hitters at DC.
Yeah, there's weight over there.
I'm sure Jeff Johns.
DC is not a joke. Their cinematic universe may be considered joking.
Correct.
But DC, the entity in and of itself, backed by Warner Brothers, not a joke.
Not a joke. But how come now? Like, how come out of all this time that it's kind of happened?
Do you have a theory?
Like that's my theory. No, that is my theory.
Because that perfect storm.
I think there is. Yeah, I think there totally is. All right, we're gonna give a little background to the uninitiated.
Talk to
why this is such a huge
rubes.
deal. This is a huge deal. Brian Michael Bendis, his first Marvel comic was Ultimate Spider-Man #1 back in, I believe it was 2001.
He invented the Ultimates.
He invented the Ultimate Universe for Marvel.
Much.
He invented the Jessica Jones that you see on screen right now.
Jessica Jones.
He invented the Daredevil that you. Well, okay, I'm not going to give total credit.
He technically gave Sam Jackson all those roles in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
He contributed to that. Him and Mark Millar. Because Mark Millar, I think Mark Millar was the guy who was
Millar's
like
idea.
Mark Millar said to Brian Hitch, make him look like Sam Jackson.
Exactly.
And he made him look
and
exactly like Sam Jackson.
Has a job.
Right. And now Sam Jackson was Nick Fury forever, and has basically overtaken him. Yes. As Nick Fury.
Well, because the other cinematic Nick Fury was David Hasselhoff. So
yeah. No.
It wasn't hard to oust
I'm not
him.
Actually. You know, it's funny. We talk about the race swapping and the getting rid of characters. I
wasn't even on that kick. I was just saying Hasselhoff did such a dismal job as Nick Fury.
I was just saying that Samuel L. Jackson's so freaking badass. Like, why would you not want him to be Nick Fury? So,
but they did. They haven't been overusing him.
No,
they've sidelined him appropriately in the most recent iterations. But yeah, all I'm saying is Brian Michael Bendis kind of invented the Ultimates universe.
Yep.
Mark Millar came and took the ball and ran with it.
Yep.
But a lot of what we're seeing,
the underpinnings of the entire Marvel universe,
the Marvel Cinematic Universe, definitely is getting 90% of its cues from the Ultimates, and that could be attributed to that is as much Brian Michael Bendis as the cinematic universe is Jon Favreau.
I mean, he is so intertwined with Marvel that he was even writing the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon show at some point. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean that's the length of what he's done. Again, the Daredevil you see on screen, the Jessica Jones you see on screen. Yep. I mean, I know I'm forgetting other things that he's done. I mean, he has just been so prolific. The X-Men team that is the X-Men Blue right now was an idea that he had. I mean, he's basically written everything there is to write at Marvel, and now he's going to be bringing that over to DC. Why is that such a big deal in the sense of the comic universe? One, he swore he would never do that.
Did he say that? Did he say he would never do it?
He said he would never.
He did. He pulled a Metallica.
He swore
we'll never make a video.
Would never go to DC. He swore he had no interest in writing the characters. He used to take shots at DC all the time on Twitter and on social media. So to see this, look. I don't blame him. I think, look, 20 years of writing in the same sandbox, you want to try someone else's sandbox.
Well, you know what it was.
Money
as
too.
George R. R. Martin said, they backed a dump truck of money to his house, and he was like, all right, I guess I could write... I guess I could write Superman.
Sure. I mean, that's the thing.
No, Batman, no problem.
Yeah. Well, if you...
This new house on the beach he just bought me has made me think of so many different aspects of Batman that I can explore with my writing ability.
Because I'm friends with him on Facebook, I actually got to see one of his posts. I'm an exclusive of one. I'm one of 5,000.
Yes, but he knows you specifically, right?
I do have his... I don't know if it's his current number. It's in my phone.
Yeah, call him. I've got
a pretty decent amount of numbers in my phone that I will never, ever call again.
But it's there.
I got Brandon Boyd's number.
It's part of your...
I got Ed Kowalczyk's number.
I had Mark Hamill.
I think I got Billy Corgan's number.
I had Mark Hamill's number, and I had William Shatner's number in my phone for it before I got this phone. And I was like, I got the two I got the premieres of the two biggest.
How did you get Mark Hamill's phone number?
We interviewed Mark Hamill on the other show. It came from the radio,
which is also on the network.
Yes,
here.
which is also here, which is part of the family.
Out to
no problem. But it is now the other show since I'm on this.
This is very true, actually.
And we interviewed him, and then I got his contact information and stuff like that, so that we could call him in order to do whatever we were doing. And the other time was William Shatner, though I didn't get to speak to him.
Yeah.
But I had his contact information, and that was gold.
I
walked around like
a little birdie
told
me
prince with that.
Little birdie told me we are expecting to have him on the show sometime.
William Shatner?
Yeah, sometime soon.
Whoa.
Sometime soon. Yeah, I know.
We're gonna shat again.
We're
gonna keep chatting.
That is the past tense, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Oh. I didn't mean it that. Yes, I did.
So we're going to get into Thor Ragnarok. So I know some people really want to talk about that. So I don't want to withhold.
But the Bendis thing is a big deal.
The Bendis thing is a huge deal. What books do you want to see him write? What books do you not want to see him write?
Do I want to see Bendis from DC? I'd like to see, honestly. Even
that's not the response. The response is, what books do you want? Do you want me to say? That's what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to ping pong back to me.
No. We'll take care of that as we go forward, jerk. Yeah. You can only make fun of me when I'm ready for you to make fun of me. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't work.
I know, it flew over his head there. Yeah, it was actually supposed to be a very funny moment.
I was like,
you ruined it again.
I'm here to ruin the whole show, man. I signed a secret contract.
To new depths.
I signed a contract with you, but I also signed a contract with Sam.
This is
he's been setting you up the whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm baffled by this.
I'd actually like to see him take a turn at Superman.
Okay.
Just to see what he would do with it. He might not. His talents might not work with that, because Superman's kind of a broad stroke.
Sure.
He's not an intricate character. He's a more of a broad character. I think Batman will be a little too.
See, okay, that's the boring answer. But that's the one I want to see him write.
Batman?
Yeah, it's the boring answer, but
I want to see him
all
do the
of
Flash.
His characters,
I think
all of his characters, the Daredevil that we know and love. Well, again, I don't want to give him total credit for Daredevil, because Frank Miller did great. Easy. Kevin Smith contributed to the lore. We're not.
That is shaky territory, man. That's a slippery slope when you go.
But I would love to see him take this dark character and really propel it forward.
I would like to see him do something with, say, Flash. One of these other characters, because Batman is too easy, and
that is something
Batman
that Bendis
has
does.
Been overworked.
Yes.
Yes. We know that I love Batman. I love him enough to have disliked certain iterations of Batman.
Yeah.
But it's been overdone.
Yeah.
So I think I'd like to see that kind of intricacy put to another character, such as like maybe Flash. There are aspects of Flash that just never explored in the comic book, in the shows, and maybe in this movie they will, because they have to kind of get a little deeper into his character and into his personal life.
Yeah.
But in the comic books, a lot of it just kind of gets
glazed over. One thing,
or one more. I'm sorry.
No. Don't apologize. This is your show too.
Well, I'm sorry for interrupting you. I do that because
I don't
I'm a polite
apologize.
human being.
I do not apologize
because you're scum.
That's right.
What about Green Lantern? Brian Michael Bendis on Green Lantern.
You've just named, though, 2 Jeff Johns signature books to have Brian Michael Bendis. The one thing I would say, and we'll do this before we go to commercial, and when we come back, we're gonna just dive into Thor, is that he does do a great job taking some lesser known characters and not just breathing new life into it, because Jessica Jones, I'm using her as an example, isn't necessarily.
It was a kind of.
She had a clean slate. I mean, you could do anything with her, but what he does do with that.
Right.
Is spin something interesting. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. It is huge news. All right. We want to talk Thor Ragnarok. We want to get your comments. If you're listening, if you're on talkradio.nyc, if you're on facebook.com/Secrets of the Sire, chime in. Give us your thoughts. How many hammers do you give Thor Ragnarok? We can say Mjolnirs, but I can't pronounce that right.
Yeah.
How many Mjolnirs do you give Thor Ragnarok?
Stop it. Don't do that anymore.
And we'll give you our take, and it's a bit weird.
It's an interesting take.
When we come back.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Are you stuck in a rut? Negative thoughts, feelings, and conversations got you down? Hi, I'm Noreen Sumter, the Potentiator. Tune in every Tuesday, 9 to 10 Eastern Time, and listen for new ideas on my show, Beyond Potential. Live life your way on talkradio.nyc.
Who do you want to connect with?
Are you an entrepreneur or intrapreneur looking to build your following?
Welcome to our show.
Follow Me Friday with Joan
and Priya.
Tune in every Friday at noon Eastern
on talkradio.nyc.
We're your digital connectors. Woo woo!
Talking Alternative Radio, 24 hours a day.
It's like when you name your kid Jeeves and he becomes a butler. You know, it's like you just know.
Yeah, you screwed your kid.
You've set a course. You've set a course for that kid.
Yes,
but
he's just living up to his lowered expectations.
Well, don't insult butlers.
They're already after me for other reasons that I don't want to go into right now.
This is true. We'll devote a special show to that.
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We talk comics, movies, TV, pop culture, all
Sometimes
the fun
we don't.
stuff.
Sometimes we don't talk.
sometimes we just talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about.
Sometimes we just get into fights.
We are on Amazon Alexa, just to let everyone know. Go to Amazon. If you have an Alexa device, look up Spreaker Podcast Radio Player, enable it, then Alexa open Spreaker. Alexa, open Secrets of the Sire. We are there. It's amazing. You can get all of our
like a magic trick.
Yeah, all of our wonderful
all that stuff.
Yeah, but we're on iTunes. We're on iHeart. You know, go look us up. Okay, all right. We're just gonna skip right ahead. I'm bursting to talk about Thor Ragnarok. I know a lot of folks. I know a lot of folks are as well too. To give you a rundown. I've heard everything from what Jack O'Donnell had said, who is on the video feed right now. He said he 5 out of 5 hammers, possibly one of his favorite movies of all time, to Daquan Kane, who's running a Kickstarter right now. We're going to have him on the show in 2 weeks to talk about his Kickstarter as well, too, where he thought 2 out of 5, not his thing. Hasan, what do you think of Thor Ragnarok?
You know, I honestly came here wondering what you thought of it.
Good. At least you know your lines now. Let me talk to you about Thor. No,
get into it.
We'll let you go first this week.
Thor Ragnarok. You know what? I enjoyed it immensely while I was watching it. A phenomenon, though, is I don't remember much of it. There are not a lot of highlight moments where I'm like, whoa, I remember, I want to see that. Now, when I see the movie again, that might change. I think that happened to me with the first Guardians movie, where it was just so much stuff that now I'm very intimate with that movie, so I kind of know the ins and outs of that movie. So maybe that will happen with Thor. I thought it was really well done. I thought it was refreshing. I did see that they were trying to capture the Guardians of the Galaxy atmosphere.
That was something
the feel,
Sam,
the look
our
and feel
producer,
of
had
it.
actually mentioned, and that was Sam. That was your biggest complaint, is that all of a sudden it felt like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
It was like it sort of becomes like a clown fest, after it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But the other 2 Thor movies I thought were just did not have they just didn't have their sea legs. They just didn't know quite how to attack it.
I think that first episode.
We'll get to you. Won't we? Won't we get to you?
I think that first Thor.
You're still talking.
Disqualifies.
You're gonna just keep talking while I'm talking. I don't want to talk. We're not. First of all, I'm talking.
Okay.
Second of all, we're not talking about Thor 1.
Well, you just mentioned it.
No, but
it counts.
I was gonna pass over it.
Don't
you know what
Thor
now?
1.
You know what? I don't want to talk anymore.
Don't insult
I don't want to
Thor
talk
1.
anymore. Yeah, Thor 1's terrible.
Thor 2 is great.
Thor 2 is great.
It's terrible. Thor 1 is...
I'm going to hit you with my phone.
Thor 1 is a great...
Anyway, but it's, Thor as a character in and of itself, he never really shined through.
Yeah.
He shined in the Avengers as part of a team.
Sure.
He shined because he's always this kind of character. If you put him up against something, you put him up against a contrast, he shines more. When you put him all by himself, he's kind of like oatmeal. Like he's like, he's not that special.
See,
he's
but I'm allowed. This is a discussion. That's the whole point of a discussion.
Last time you just yacked all the way to the break, and we're not doing that this time, sir.
Go ahead.
All right, so there was that. Him with Hulk, that's a winning combination all the time. The expansion of the universe, the expansion of the Marvel, I don't know what
Seven Worlds,
galactic universe,
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. They're universal stuff.
Sure.
They're because that's a milieu that's not often used in the comic books, even with the Starjammers and all this, the Shire Empire, all that stuff they can get into. So I appreciated that. I did enjoy it. There are some things that I was like, all right, you could.
I'm taking notes. Yeah.
No, I get you. There's some stuff that was like, all right, you could. I guess if you're going to do that, then you'll have to do that, There were actually issues I had with the way certain things were depicted.
Like
and
what?
I don't have it. Yeah, I knew you were going to do that.
What, you were just going to let me make a blanket statement?
Yeah, I was just hoping to just bowl through.
We are
all
the
way
show
through.
of generalities.
There's some. I think maybe the way the Valkyrie was introduced, where even though there was a joke, there was a kind of a punchline. It was just kind of like. It could have been done.
There was a lot of that.
It could have been done a little. Yeah, there's a lot of sequences I thought that could have been done a little more cinematically.
Yeah,
like there could have been a little more visual reverence added to it, and they kind of just made a goof, joke of it.
Do you feel that? And I do feel this way. I feel like modern storytelling is actually aping the Joss Whedon dialogue.
Modern storytelling sucks. No,
I think there's something to it where. It's so much meta on top of meta on top of meta. It's like a wink to a non to an acknowledgement of a nostalgic moment that inspired me when I was
anything
16
that
years
stays
old.
within the confines of its own universe is considered almost lame. Like it doesn't have these meta facets to it that will attract a broader audience.
It's almost the phenomenon of tablet in a show while you're watching a show, like when you're actually like on a device, and you're tweeting while you're watching a show, and it's like the device within a device. Like that's our generation now. There has to be two sides to it. You can't just enjoy a story for what it is. You also have to be commenting and interacting with people while it's happening, and that kind of mindset is now translated.
And now
on
the material
film.
is trying to connect with you as a fan, but also the person who's not a fan, and also the person
plus the character in the actual the actual characters as they interact.
It's a little too much. It is sort of the discussion we were having last week about Stranger Things in the the too much 80s kind of references. I don't know what we could do about it. I don't like it. Yeah. I think it's got.
Well, you're a curmudgeon-y old guy.
Yes,
that's why.
mostly curmudgeon-y, not that much old, but yes. But I don't think it has legs. I don't think it can. I'm sure it will last a long time. Yeah. Don't get that. Those two are interchangeable, non-interchangeable.
Sure.
But I don't think it will lead to too many good things. I don't think you can expand on it to where it becomes an art form in and of itself, and it kind of just it gets broader. It seems very minute and nothing now, but as a couple of decades from now, it'll be broader. I don't think it has legs like that.
Yeah. We want to hear from you guys too. Chime in on Facebook.com/Secrets of the Sire. Unless you're listening to us as a podcast, in which case
don't we're
do
home
it because,
right now.
Why not?
Sleeping.
If you'd like to call in, this is a call-in show, which I never really acknowledge anymore because we've been so jam-packed lately that we don't have time for callers.
Right.
But if you'd like to call in, 877-480-4120. And again, if you're listening to us on the podcast, don't call in. Well, you could actually, but you'll probably get Sam Leibowitz's Conscious Consultant, which is the Conscious Consultant Hour from 11 to 12. Right? It's 11.
Someone actually called yesterday.
For us?
During a rerun.
Oh, get out of here. Wait, for your show?
Yeah, for my show.
Oh, yeah, no one calls in for our show. Oh. We live in the digital age. They would much rather chime in.
That's kind of depressing.
Yeah.
They didn't want to talk to us. That's depressing.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm depressed now, Mike.
Why are you depressed?
Because of nothing.
Because of the storytelling?
What did you think?
Well, before I talk about what I think, before I talk about what I think, I have to address, which is what I wrote down. I disagree with you completely that Thor, in and of itself, can't be an interesting character. I thought the original Thor movie, while not in the same league as Captain America: First Avenger, which I think is one of the best origin movies in the Marvel Universe, I thought the first Thor was really, really good, and it focused on Thor as a character. It focused on him being a spoiled, rambunctious, just kind of not taking the world so seriously, immature character. Through the course of the story arc, he is humbled, and he's introduced to something else, another viewpoint altogether, rises up to become the prince, so to speak, that his father is hoping that he would become and become the champion. I think he grows throughout that movie. He becomes the Thor we love. I think the first Thor movie, I think you're seriously underrating, and I think it's a Thor movie. It's an actual Thor movie. You know, it's not like, hey, Thor, we need to pair you up with, what was the character in The Simpsons that they bring in like season 9 where he's like the skateboarding.
Season 9.
Yeah,
come on, are you gonna make an obscure reference? I don't even watch The Simpsons, so I wouldn't know.
That's horrible.
Huh? Oh, here we go again. We're back to this again.
The original run of The
Simpsons. You can like Thor. Yeah. All you want. Yeah. It's not a terrible movie. It just didn't do anything for me. I remember certain things from it. I can remember certain sequences. I did like. I think Loki was great. I remember Odin kicking Thor out of Asgard.
Is Loki the best Marvel villain?
No.
Our intern, our alpha intern, Anna, which is, I like that, she's AAA. She thinks, yes, she's giving us a thumbs up. Loki's the best villain.
Alpha intern is AIA.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you just ruined that.
Yeah. Because you ruined it.
Alpha intern Anna.
All right. A lot of time we wasted on that terrible joke.
Look, we're just getting through the hour, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, there's some memorable stuff on it, but I think it's kind of what you say about The Force Awakens. It just kind of drops off as soon as Han Solo shows up.
Sure.
As soon as he gets to Earth,
to me it doesn't.
And then the Annihilator comes to Earth, and then the 3 comes to Earth, and it's like, all right,
yeah,
and it's just this nameless town gets destroyed, and.
But that's okay.
All right. Look, if you like it, you liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike it. It didn't do anything for me.
Sure.
I think it's one of the. I think that movie and Thor.
I'm gonna actually ask you.
Thor
a question.
2 are the only two.
No, Thor 2 is horrible.
Of the two cinematic universe that I don't own.
We'll get into why Thor 2 is horrible when we come back from commercial. But I want to ask you a question. And this is a you specific opinion question.
You specific.
Can you watch a film, not have it do anything for you, but still recognize it as a good film?
Yes.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk more about that. And again, chime in. I want to hear your thoughts. How many hammers do you give it? We got to get into Valkyrie too. I think that's a topic worth discussing. I actually thought she was a caricature of a female badass character that we've all come to see now and has become very typical in movies.
Well, I guess we just discussed it.
Well, we haven't discussed it yet. I don't know what your thoughts are on it. I want to know what your thoughts are, Hasan. And I want to know what your thoughts are.
I want to know what your thoughts are.
All this stuff when we talk about Roth when we come back.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
If you have an interest in marijuana, you want to know about marijuana, law, policy, and culture, then feel free to join me, Joseph A. Bondi, every Friday at 11 o'clock in the morning on my show In the Know 420 on TalkingAlternative.com.
Legalize the herb to continue to resist the passage of this necessary legislation.
Hi, this is Rob Kay.
And I'm Callie Alpert.
And we're hosts of The Rob and Callie Show. Are you looking for a show that talks about real stuff like life, love, the pursuit of being yourself?
Then you have come to the right place because we cover topics ranging from chivalry to gratitude to your relationship with money and everything in between.
So listen to us on The Rob and Callie Show Tuesdays, 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on talkradio.nyc.
Talking Alternative Radio, 24 hours a day.
That might have been the best thing you've ever said, period. Like on the show. I mean, we're not even talking about like your opinions. They're okay. Segue. Boom.
Yeah.
That's where the money's made, my man.
You know what? Now I'm going to end every sentence with boom. Boom. And that's what I do.
Exactly.
Boom.
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 All right. That's enough. That's old already. This show doesn't work when we agree.
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We talk comics, movies, TV, pop culture, and this is like our, I don't want to say it's our Super Bowl, but this is like our regular season. This is like the day after Sunday after the football game, where we actually get to talk about the actual product on screen.
Gotta sap up the wrap up,
as opposed to the trade talk that goes on
on the regular basis.
On the regular basis.
Well, at least we can talk about it as opposed to like it's coming out this Friday.
Right,
so
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, we're actually talking about it.
Right.
So we're talking Thor Ragnarok.
Still didn't hear what you thought of it.
I'll give you my take in a second. Guy Farr chimed in and asked, so where was Lady Sif? And I think the answer is that she's on blind spot and couldn't contractually get over to Thor.
And thus survived.
Right, and thus survived. Spoilers! Sorry, guys. Victoria Bennett. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
There's a lot of collateral damage in this movie.
Yeah.
There's an F ton of collateral damage.
Let me say this: Victoria Bennett thought Loki is the most interesting Marvel villain so far.
No, that's fair.
What other alternatives do we have? I mean, you can't call the Chitauri because they were like soldiers, foot soldiers. Thanos possibly.
I did very strongly like.
Nah.
I
overruled.
I didn't even hear what she said.
Ultron.
Oh. You. Quiet.
She's now the BAA.
Quiet.
The beta.
I did like Ronan, the
what
accuser.
What did you think I said? Yeah, she thought BAA was something different.
That's why. See, yeah, I never get into trouble like this because I know how to watch my mouth. I did like Ronan the accuser.
Okay.
I thought he was good.
All right.
And I very much enjoyed Kate Blanchett. I think she was very good in that role.
You want to know what I thought of the movie? I thought the Planet Hulk movie that we watched was really cool. I thought the Thor Ragnarok movie we watched could have been so amazing. Kate Blanchett was amazing and was so one note, unfortunately. Not her acting. No. Her acting was amazing. Her portrayal, like the sense of doom.
There are very seldom that's the problem with that, and I don't excuse it.
Mm-hmm.
There's just very seldom that any actor, no matter how great they are, can come in to a role that predetermined or pre-scripted and not do anything more than chew scenery, which is basically what she was doing. I thought
she wasn't chewing scenery. I mean, she was.
Well,
she was great.
I mean, she
was great in every scene. She was the equivalent of Ewan McGregor in the prequels.
That's what I mean. If she, and in that iteration, she's outshining all her other actors, all the actors on the screen. She's larger than the sets. She's larger than the costume. That's chewing scenery.
Yeah,
So there's very little that they can do other than kind of chew scenery. Amazingly enough, she actually did inhabit the character in the Crystal Skull more so.
Yeah.
She was less Kate Blanchett in that character than she was Kate Blanchett as Hela. She was basically Kate Blanchett in a costume.
I mean, Kate Blanchett is a fantastic actress, and I think she definitely... I think I guess to answer your question is, do we really know who Kate Blanchett is? I mean, she's inhabited so many great roles now that
Well, I'm saying I looked at Hela and I was like, that's Kate Blanchett. That's
you couldn't separate the actress.
Yeah, that's
from
Galadriel.
Galadriel
is now evil. As opposed to like when she was in Crystal Skull. I'm like, oh, she's a Russian chick. You got to deal with this Russian chick.
Yeah.
So there's just that. I thought she was great. She was a great villain.
Yeah.
But she was one note. But I mean, there's no room in Marvel for anything more than a one note villain. That's the problem with Marvel.
That's the thing that sucks, though, because
Marvel is not
if
a universe of villains.
If they picked one movie, if they picked an actual Thor movie, and I'm not knocking it because, look, it was very entertaining, and I loved the Hulk in it, and I loved, like I said, the whole thing where he's actually the Hulk interacting with Thor, and he's a little smarter now, and that's kind of cool. Like, all of those scenes were awesome, and Jeff Goldblum just being funky Jeff Goldblum was awesome, and there's all this great stuff in there.
Jeff Goldblum.
So I'm not knocking, right? I'm not knocking the movie itself, but I'm looking at it going like, oh man, I would have loved to have seen. I mean, Odin passing away in 2 seconds, doesn't lend itself to the crimes and the sins that he committed according to Hela, but they just didn't have enough room in this movie.
Well,
and the tone wasn't right for this movie to really go into it. So it kind of felt like that end of the movie was just a little lacking. The other thing, too, that I thought was neat about the movie, though, and again, you do have this, and Sam, you've said this before, where you're like, I hope it's not another Avengers movie. And it wasn't another Avengers movie, so that's good. It did have an Avenger in it, but it didn't feel like an Avengers movie. You're 100% right, and we'll throw this out to the group. It really was it was a Guardians movie, essentially. You have one or two tones. But essentially, the interaction with Stephen Strange at the beginning, that would have fit into the Thor movie if you just did the Thor movie, having Doctor Strange in there, and that's your crossover, and that's your kind of like hint, hint, nod.
Well, they're not going to do a standalone Hulk movie.
No, I know.
If you did a standalone Hulk movie, you would need another character. You need either Thor or Iron Man or someone in it.
Yeah.
Because someone's got to play the straight man to the Hulk.
And that's the whole thing. Like Thor Ragnarok,
Unless
if you read Michael Avon Oeming's run on Thor Ragnarok, I mean, it's Thor Ragnarok. It's like the end of the world as we know it, and the end of Asgard, and it's kind of like, we're going to call it Thor Ragnarok, we're going to have this stuff in here, but essentially it's Planet Hulk. I mean, that's essentially what the movie is, guest starring Thor. And to your point in the first segment, or the second segment, I think it was the second segment, where we're talking about, traditional storytelling's not enough for people anymore. A traditional story would have been that he was trapped on this planet somehow, and needs to get off the planet. Thor,
okay.
And needs to get off the planet, and that would have been enough. Like, if this was an 80s movie, that would have been the movie. It wouldn't necessarily have had to come...
He would have just kept running into these, like
obstacles and things going on.
That expanded exponentially as he was going forward.
Yeah, and so it would never have gone back to Asgard for this final showdown.
The problem they had was... The worst mistake they had was to have a huge hit with the Avengers. Because in the original formula was, we're going to have these sideline, these kind of minor movies, and it's going to lead up to this event movie.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have these minor movies again, and it's going to lead up to the event movie. But then somewhere along the line, they kind of shifted the format where every movie is going to have to be an event movie.
I know.
Which every movie is almost like, like the Avengers,
and
as you guys were saying. So now you couldn't have just had Thor just kind of wander around, and until he got out. You had to have him with the Hulk. You had to have a Hulk fight. You like you said, you had to have all this meta dialogue and all this, all these gigantic events. And I mean, the fall of Asgard is enormous.
Right.
It's enormous, and you kind of sideline that. You sideline Heimdall and all these other kind of things in order to fit all this other stuff in there. So,
and this is the thing. I
mean,
think,
they didn't do it badly.
I think that's what I'm saying. I think what we're talking about is, I didn't walk away from the movie being like, oh, this is a bad movie.
No.
Or I wasn't enjoying it.
But I also didn't
walk
away going, the game has changed. That movie changed the game.
But isn't that the irony of the life we live in now, with social media, with
which is
with
what I was saying last week.
A billion like streaming networks now of serialized television content that has almost sucked the life out of the movie event, right? I mean, the movie event now, these movies feel more like television shows than movies.
That's a format from the MCU, because you're just going to get another one. You know there's another one coming. And one of the main critiques of, especially back during the Age of Ultron era, was that every one of these movies is just a long trailer for the next movie.
Sure.
Which is, of course, is annoying and irritating and expensive, as you go along. But The hope there is you.
Yeah.
Once you realize that, you can start to view things differently. You don't necessarily have to fall for this kind of pattern.
Sure.
In the way they're trying to set it up, and you could just kind of leave it to the side. It's kind of what I was talking about with Stranger Things. It's like we don't have to look at it that way.
Yeah.
But that is unfortunately the way they are doing it. That is the way it is being set up, and it's kind of a take it or leave it thing. It's just like the streaming. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and he was talking about like all these services and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, the problem I'm having is that they're setting you up to rent for the rest of your life.
Sure.
You don't get to own anymore. I remember
owning, but everything in life. Your iCloud is teaching you not to.
That's what I'm talking about.
I
don't get my own music. I don't get my own movies. And as soon as something happens to the service, I'm out of my library.
Yes.
Or you can come and say, well, you don't need to see this anymore.
But what if you switch providers too? Like I have a ton of stuff on my Verizon DVR. And if I decide to switch to Cablevision, I lose
it's
all
gone.
That. It's gone.
It's all gone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's another reason why torrents are so popular, because that's going to be the last way to own anything.
Yeah. Let's dive.
That's what they're doing to us. There's nothing we can do about it. So the same as your
agree.
meta. It all kind of fits into the meta milieu.
Let's dive into the one character we haven't really spoken too much about, and that's Valkyrie. I don't know about you. I am getting a little bit like I roll my eyes at the slow motion walking out shot of the badass female. And the reason I actually use those terms specifically is that the actress herself, Tessa Thompson, went on record as saying she's tired of being typecast as the badass, or not that she's tired of being typecast as that. She is tired of the typecasting of, we need this woman to be badass. Yeah. She was badass. Yeah. I loved her origin. I had no problem with the fact that, Valkyries by nature are supposed to be the Norwegian blonde hair, blue eyes. I have no problem with that. To me, it didn't make a difference to me.
Right.
But I did kind of look at her, and I was just bored by her because I've seen her now, because every single movie is supposed to be that,
I didn't know the story of Valkyrie because I'm not a reader of Thor.
I'm not a big Thor guy either, so despite the shirt.
It was interesting
Roth.
just by the sense of waiting for her to kind of reveal what her background was and why she was kind of she was ambivalent to Thor and to what was going on with Asgard. And that's the only thing that kind of made her interesting. The warrior woman thing, there's nothing wrong with it, and it's here to stay pretty much. I get tired of it. Chafes when they kind of use it as a highlight. Right. It's not really a highlight. She's in the story. If she's got a gun or a sword, she's gonna have to be badass because we're living in a bad world.
Let me jump on that for a second, real quick, because we're bumping up against commercial too. I was actually also tired of seeing Loki all of a sudden turned into a badass too. Did you notice that? There's these super slow motion shots
in that first movie that you love. He was.
Yeah, but he was more of a conniving. He was using tricks. He was using actual.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot of this trickster stuff.
Here he was like martial arts. All of a sudden, I'm awesome too. And there was those slow motion shots of him with the knife and the. Where did he get that from? It's almost But
you've seen him fight. There is precedence for it.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean they kind of did him up a little bit.
Yeah.
But
they're kind of leaning on this specific
It's the way it is now. Everybody's got to kind of measure up.
So the last character to talk about, and we'll bump up against Break a little bit, and we'll come back and talk about him a little bit too. What did you think of the director jumping into the role of the breakout character of the film, Mr. Korg? We'll answer that question when we come back.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Are you into comics, movies, and pop culture at large? What about music and TV? Then you're in for a treat. This is Michael Dolce, your host on TalkingAlternative.com. I've been professionally writing comic books, screenplays, and music articles for almost 15 years. Catch my show, Secrets of the Sire, at its new primetime slot, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and get the inside scoop on the pop culture universe you love to talk about. For more info, go to secretsofthesire.com.
talkingalternative.com.
Can a man actually get up with any kind of macho manliness and say Twilight was a good film franchise and or movie? That's like the guy wearing the pink shirt, right? Like he feels completely confident.
But men can rock the
pink. Wait.
Sam the engineer is wearing pink right now.
I just pulled a Hasan.
Secrets of the Sire.
Did right there. Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We do this.
Get them awake right there.
Who is sleeping? Come on. Talk comics, movies, TV, pop culture on talkradio.nyc and streaming live on facebook.com/Secrets of the Sire. We are a call-in show. Unless you're listening to us on a podcast, 877-480-4120. We're gonna put a bow on our Thor talk so we can get into spinning the racks a little bit. But the one thing that I did find fascinating was the 5 foot tall stuntman turned director who put himself in the movie as the most lovable, enjoyable character of the film potentially. The director was Wakiki. I don't even know what his first name is.
You didn't look it up during the break?
I know what it is. I just don't know how to pronounce it, and I'm gonna Taiki Wakiki.
Sure.
You don't know either. You don't know either.
I don't know. I didn't know you weren't going to know. I would have looked it up during the break.
Get on this. No.
Yeah.
She's throwing her hands up. She's got nothing.
She's like, it's time for a cupcake.
What do you think about that? Is there like a little like? I enjoyed his character and I enjoyed it. Is there something?
Are you going to ask me a question?
Is there something? No, I'm actually just going to make these squealy noises and kind of hint at a question, but I don't know the question to actually ask you. There's just something that just didn't feel right when I found out that it was the director, and he threw himself into like this.
What's wrong with that? That happens all the time.
Does it?
Tarantino does that all the time.
No. He always makes himself
in his own movies. Huh? John Favreau.
But he's not.
Ben Affleck has directed himself in all of his movies.
John Favreau. Actually, okay, that's a great reference. Like Ben Affleck, but Ben Affleck was known as an actor first before he was a director.
So, okay, what's your thing? Did you not like the character?
No, I loved the character.
Well, then it worked. So then
I know. There's something.
You just want it. You want there to be something wrong with it.
There's something. I feel like unethical about it in some way, shape, or form.
It happens all the time. Directors put themselves in their own stuff.
I would do that too. I really would.
I know you would.
I would definitely.
You would be the only one in there.
Hey guys. You'd be
like, hey Mike, did you write parts for anybody else in this?
No. There's a lot. Why are we all here? There's a lot of talking heads, and then I come in. Hey guys, and everyone's like, I like that guy. Who is that guy?
Holy crap!
He's the most likable guy on this thing.
Holy crap! I'd have to see that movie once. I don't know how I would feel about it, but I'd have to at least see that movie once.
All right, keep chiming in on our Facebook page. Keep chiming in on the Facebook video. We actually do talk. We do carry the conversations on the Facebook video. So if you catch us on replay,
the Facebook.
Did I say that?
No, you didn't. You said it correctly, but it.
Oh, you're saying it.
In the process of saying it correctly, you ended up saying the Facebook.
Oh, good.
You ended up going back in time a little bit.
I like to date myself as much as possible.
Yes, do it. Date yourself. You be your own best friend. Take yourself to the movies.
We've covered this before in previous shows. If you want to catch up on it, go to SoundCloud.com/Secrets of the Sire.
Well done.
We will do our most favorite subject, our most favorite segment.
Not our. Don't include both of us.
Spinning the racks, bringing the most fantastical pop culture news out there.
Spin the rack, spin that
rack. So this one's Sam. I promised you a doozy for Spin the Racks. This one's good. Stranger Things, unscripted kiss stressed out actress Sadie Sink. Apparently, Sadie Sink's first kiss came as a surprise, and not a pleasant one. The Stranger Things star who joined the cast for the second season of the hit Netflix show said the creators Matt and Ross Duffer added her character's kiss at the Snowball last minute, despite her objections. The kiss was not written in the script, Sink said. I get there the first day, me and Noah, which is Schnapp, are walking in, seeing the decorations and stuff. One of you, I think it was you, Ross, you say, "Oh, Sadie, you ready for the kiss?" I'm like, "What? No, that's not in the script. That's not happening." So the whole day I was like stressed out, and I was like, "Oh my God, wait, am I going to have to? ... Ross Duffer blamed Sink's reactions for his insistence on the kiss. "You reacted so strongly to this, I was joking, and you were so freaked out that I was like, well, I got to make her do it now," he said on Beyond Stranger Things.
That's not a great headline in the time of Weinstein. I'm going to make her do it. You're going to have to do it. You know,
it's amazing. They actually wrote that in the article. "The forced kiss comes with renewed interest amid a widespread Hollywood scandal of sexual harassment and assault."
Yeah.
It is now. I mean,
we're in
making...
Weinstein country, man. We can't be doing stuff like that anymore.
And Spaceyville.
Yeah, Spaceyville and Weinstein country.
Space Town. You don't want to go there?
No.
You want to pass
it's
through
all
as
right,
quick as
I'm
possible.
gay. It doesn't work that way.
No. But that's something we've actually talked about offline a little bit too. The kiss that actually happens, we both kind of thought was a little...
It's because she's racist.
It's because she's right. Well, that was a different conversation that you didn't want me to bring up on air.
That
you were actually outing her as racist.
Damn.
As 15-year-old
I messed that
racist.
up.
Yeah. No,
that's going to go viral now.
I was going to talk about the kiss at the end, which is totally fine, except this is supposed to be 1984. And it kind of happens, and there's no like, there's a black kid and a white girl, and they kissing, and we in Indiana right now.
Yeah, a lot of people don't,
they're
they keep
dancing together.
They keep putting contemporary like sensibilities on these shows. That's
they're rewriting history. I'm not saying it's proud history.
I went to school at that time, and it did happen, but it was a deal. It was a big deal. Now, maybe the show ended before they made a big deal out of it.
Maybe.
You know,
maybe they chose not to focus.
And like it's like the Karate Kid. Like the next season, you're going to see exactly after Daniel won the trophy.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Backlash, and there's like
right.
crosses burning and stuff like. But
that's exactly what I thought when I saw it. I go. And everyone's just kind of cool with that?
Everyone's cool with that?
Because I don't think they would have been cool with that in 1984.
Maybe. Well, they did add in her brother, whom, even though the actor said he wasn't...
It was so ambiguous, though.
Yeah.
It was so ambiguous.
Yeah.
You don't... what did he... Like...
What was his beef point of contention?
Yeah, I know. So
and I think that actor is in denial. I think they did it like that specifically.
I think the actor is trying not to bring a.
But I mean, which is weird because the actor was, excuse the language, the actor was an asshole. Like that was his role. He was he was the village asshole for the entire story.
Right.
You know what? I'm never going to remember the kid's name, and that's why we can't really have a conversation about that. But,
we never do.
Because I'm bad with names. I really am bad with names. The boyfriend, the first boyfriend, not Steve.
Who, by the way, should have died at the end. But we'll get into that in a minute. Yeah.
I was going to say he's like the breakout hero of the whole story because he kind of just takes his lumps and he just all right. I'm looking after these kids now.
Yeah.
And then every time he kind of backs down because he's like this is a little over our head. This is above our pay grade.
Yeah.
So let's just kind of back down. And the kids kind of kick him a little bit. He just he steps up to the plate every time.
That's why he needed to die at the end.
No,
as much as the Sean Astin
do more
/
seasons.
Barb,
he might die at the end of the show, but you got more seasons to do. There's a whole point for his character.
There's got to be some stakes to this. There's got to be some.
There were stakes. A whole bunch of people died. And someone might have eaten the steak. But, I mean, anyway, like, a whole bunch of people died. A whole bunch of things happened. But this is set up for the rest of the show. This is the thing. Everybody's looking at you. You're saying that meta thing. Everyone's looking for the big, what's going to be the big thing? Where are the feels? Where are my feels? I got to have my feels. And there was nothing. It was not based like that. It's an 80s show. It ended like an 80s show.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna go with that.
That's right.
We covered a lot of ground tonight. One of the things we asked were how many hammers do you give Thor? Or Roth, as we Rot. Is it Rot? Is it Rot? It's Rot.
R-O-H-T.
That's a silent H. That's a silent H.
Rot.
It's a silent H.
Pronounce it correctly, darn it.
Johnny Wellens says, I give it 18 out of 20 claw hammers, 13.5 out of 15 framing hammers, 4.75 out of 5 ball peen hammers, 1.9 out of 2 sledgehammers, and the full Mjolnir. Did I pronounce it right? Mjolnir?
What did Blaze say? Some people always trying to ice skate uphill. Someone's always got to be clever.
Well, like I said, chime in on the video replay. We're going to definitely keep talking about Thor Ragnarok as the week goes by. I really do want to know your reaction. I mean, to me, again,
I don't care how you feel.
It was a great Planet Hulk movie.
Hey, but he was in it. But he's part of it, though.
Yeah, I know.
Which is fine. It was fine that he was part of it. It's fine that they fit Planet Hulk in there. Who would have thought? See, that's the thing. It's weird to have that almost be something you complain about, even though you liked it.
Yeah.
Where less than a decade ago, imagining a Planet Hulk movie would have been beyond your comprehension. You would not have been able to even come close to thinking.
I absolutely despise you.
Well, I knew that.
Why would you bring up such a juicy conversation starter with literally a minute to go?
That's what I do.
In the show.
Yeah, just hold on to it till next week. Hold on. Hang on to it.
Yes. I agree with you. Yes, it is an end in the day. And technically, if we do a marathon, we'll go right into your birthday.
Right into my birthday.
It works out pretty good. And we'll be hungover from Anna's birthday, which is on the Monday. So it works out pretty good. All right, we're going to be celebrating lots of birthdays next week. It is our birthday episode. And what better treat than to start previewing Justice League, the Joss Whedon vehicle. That's a happy birthday if I ever heard it.
Yeah, you know what? If that movie takes off, if he brings that movie home, that's going to change the game. That'll be a game changer.
I agree with you. But sometimes, you can put lipstick on a pig kind of thing. We also welcome Phaser creator Mariano Nicieza and my collaborator. We're going to talk about his new William Shatner-Stan Lee collaboration. Oh, see, there's that word. There's that Shatner.
We're Shatner
connection.
Again next week.
Yeah. All right, keep chiming in. Find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Secrets of the Sire, soundcloud.com/Secrets of the Sire. Go look us up on iTunes, Secrets of the Sire, iHeart. Good night, world.
And don't get killed.
Good night.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Who do you want to connect with?
Are you an entrepreneur or inchpreneur looking to build your following?
Welcome to our show.
Follow Me Friday with Joan
and Priya.
Tune in every Friday at noon Eastern
on talkradio.nyc.
We're your digital connectors. Woo woo!
Hey, all you crazy listeners. Looking to boost your business? Why not advertise on Talking Alternative with very reasonable rates? Interested? Simply email at info@talkingalternative.com. Talking Alternative.
Are you into comics, movies, and pop culture at large? What about music and TV? Then you're in for a treat. This is Michael Dolce, your host on talkingalternative.com. I've been professionally writing comic books, screenplays, and music articles for almost 15 years. Catch my show, Secrets of the Sire, at its new primetime slot, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and get the inside scoop on the pop culture universe you love to talk about. For more info, go to secretsofthesire.com.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network at www.talkingalternative.com. Now, broadcasting 24 hours a day. Talking Alternative.
Hi, this is Rob Kay.
And I'm Callie Alpert.
And we're hosts of The Rob and Callie Show. Are you looking for a show that talks about real stuff like life, love, the pursuit of being yourself?
Then you have come to the right place, because we cover topics ranging from chivalry to gratitude to your relationship with money and everything in between.
So listen to us on The Rob and Callie Show, Tuesdays, 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.